Hey, this is Blair from Hey Look, I Made This, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the knit stitch. This is the basic foundational stitch for so many projects you will work on as a knitter, so let's get started. Now that we have cast on our project, we are going to go ahead and learn how to actually do the knit stitch. So this is where the real fun begins. So for today, I am using this Cascade 128 Superwash Merino Wool yarn in this beautiful kind of gray blue color called Dusty Blue. This is a bulky weight yarn, and for needles, I am using a US size 10, also known as a 6mm needle, and I'm using circular needles, but straight needles will work as well. So let's get started. If you've landed on this video and do not know how to cast on yet, check out my How to Cast On for Beginners video doing the long tail cast on method. So we have cast on 12 stitches here. Each one of these little loops here is considered a stitch. So when you're working on knitting, you're going to hold the yarn here with the stitches in it in your left hand, and then you will hold your bare needle in your right hand. You'll also see here we have these two strands coming off. We have our tail, which we are not going to touch. Kind of push that to the back just so you make sure we're not knitting with that. And then you have your working yarn, which is connected to the ball here. And this is the one that we are going to be using. So I've made the mistake of knitting with the long tail, and you don't get too far because it's short. So make sure that you are knitting with the working yarn. Okay, so you're going to take this right needle, and you're going to come in from left, moving to right through the needle, just like that. So it kind of creates this kind of cross thing here with your stitches or your needles. And then we're going to take our working yarn, make sure it's the one attached to the ball. And you're going to take this, grab it with your finger, and you're going to wrap it around this back needle counterclockwise. So see, we're going to go around the back of it and into the front. And then you're going to kind of pull it down in between the two needles there. And then we're going to pull this down, and you want to grab with your right needle. You're going to grab that yarn that we just looped over, and then push it all off the end. You can see there, we now have our first stitch there. So let's do that again. It's super slow so you can see everything really well. Okay, so we're gonna go through here. Remember, go through the front of the needle. We're gonna go, like I said, start on the left side, and you're gonna be moving to the right. So through that needle, take your working yarn, not the tail. This tail will eventually be further out of the way, so you won't get it distracted, or you won't be as distracted. Okay, so we're going to take this again, counterclockwise, pull it down in between the two needles, and make sure you grab it right there, and then pull it off of your left needle and onto the right. So we have 2 stitches. Okay, we're gonna do this really up close because I think this is really helpful. Okay, so again, we have our needle in our right hand here, and we're gonna go from the left side, move it through the bottom, and go towards the right. So it's gonna go through that front of the needle. There we go. And then take our working yarn, the one attached to the ball, go counterclockwise, around, pull it down between those needles. It kind of makes a nice little pop, feels very secure. Then you're gonna pull that front needle through, grab that yarn, and then pull it off. And there we have our 3 stitches. So again, through that front of the needle, wrap this counterclockwise, pop it through those 2, and then we're gonna grab it and pull it through and off the end of the needle. So now that we've done that up close, we're gonna go ahead and knit to the very end here, and I'm gonna show you at that last stitch what that's gonna look like. So let's go ahead and just knit through all of these. Okay, so we have 3 stitches left, and believe me guys, I know how awkward this can feel when you're first getting used to it, holding your needles. And the reality is everyone's got slightly different sized hands, so you might find a way that feels a little bit better for your hands, so just do what feels right as long as you're doing the stitches the correct way. That's all that really matters here. Okay, so we're on to our last 3 stitches here, so we're gonna go ahead and finish these 2, same way as we have been doing all of them. And the last one, the reason I'm stopping here to show you is that not because it's different, it's just a little awkward because it can feel like it slips off. So if yours slips off, don't worry about it. You can see it kind of holds itself there. Just slip it right back on. One thing that does help is holding your finger on that stitch because it's the last one. It's not quite as grippy, and we're just gonna do the same thing. So back to front, or sorry, front to back. Needle goes through, and then you are done. So cool. We have knitted one row there, and look how amazing that looks. There we have it. We have our first beautiful knitted row. So to keep knitting, this is the part that everyone's like, okay, I did it. Now what's next? All you're gonna do is turn your yarn around, your work around, put that needle, one with all of the stitches, back in your left hand, move this back to the right, and we are gonna do the exact same thing on this side. So when you do this, you wanna make sure you can see here how the yarn can easily kind of get twisted. We don't want that to be twisted. We want that to stay in the front. It might feel a little awkward at first, this one being a little bit loose. That's just kind of how the ends are. And again, we're gonna go back and do that same thing. So front to back, clockwise, and through. And there you have it. That is it. You have mastered the knit stitch. I hope you found this video really helpful, and for more knitting tips and tutorials, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.